Hair is especially suited for photographic comparison because it is a visible and external feature. With our benefit of historical distance, for instance, when looking at hairstyles from the 1970s, trends become much more apparent. These hairstyles, captured in photographs, become iconic representations of their era, whether it's the 1920s Bubikopf, symbolizing the emergence of the new woman, or the 1960s Afro, representing a powerful statement of Black identity and resistance. Another symbolic form of hair will now be discussed, the beard. We have a few beards in the exhibition, but one example is Mahmoud Manar's groom's shower. Next up is Jörg Scheller, who is a professor of art history in the Department of Fine Arts at the Zurich University of the Arts, as well as a musician and a fitness instructor. An intriguing combination, and I'm sure we'll hear more about it in a minute. We are looking forward to hearing from you, Jörg, about the phase that follows Funktion.
Good afternoon, everybody. Glad to be here and to share some observations, actually not on beards in general, but I'm going to talk about the full beard in particular. I'm starting from a very basic observation, namely that the full beard is very much en vogue all over the place in our culture, and also in sports, bodybuilding, and fitness. And that will be the focus of my brief talk, the full beard in body culture in the broadest sense, that is sports, bodybuilding, and fitness. And this dominance of the full beard is not a matter of course, because for a long time, Western sport and body culture has been predominantly a full beard free. There were just a few exceptions. When you look back at the 20th century and you just think of some towering figures from the field of sport, bodybuilding, fitness, you will hardly encounter full beards. Think of Arnold Schwarzenegger in bodybuilding, no full beard. So he only started to grow a beard in the 21st century when it became fashionable again. When you think of basketball, when you think of Michael Jordan, he had like a tiny mustache, no full beard. Or when you think of football, Lionel Messi, for instance, he began his career beardless. And I think it wasn't until around 2015 that he went full beard. So also along with the new trend in the 20th century. And we also have in basketball LeBron James, who rises with a full beard to slam dunk. We have Messi now, who shoots his goals with a full beard. And in bodybuilding, we have Hadi Choopan, who has won the Mr. Olympia contest. That's the most prestigious bodybuilding contest, with a full beard. And of course, there are countless influencers, fitness influencers, bodybuilding influencers, such as the infamous Liver King, sporting a full beard. And when you compare this to, say, like, very roughly speaking, the mainstream facial culture of the so-called West, which sees itself as modern, then it is obvious that for a long time, the full beard has actually been viewed with suspicion, especially when it comes to elites. Whether it's the popes in Rome, the chancellors in Berlin, or presidents in Washington, D.C., they all are beardless, and of course, no full beard in particular. In the United States, there hasn't been a full bearded president ever since William Howard Taft. And while the Orthodox Church celebrates the full beard, the Vatican shuns it. So again, like very roughly speaking, full beards were considered as like typical insignia of the past. Lumberjack from the depth of the forest, crazy old revolutionaries, all kinds of renegades, etc. And this has changed a lot in the new millennium, and not just among hipsters, but as already pointed out, also among sportsmen. And when it comes to sports and body culture, I mean, there are hardly any practical reasons for a full beard. A full beard gets dirty quite easily. Things get caught up in it. So probably this renaissance of the full beard is rather a symbolic gesture and not due to practical reasons. Now, my speculative thesis is that the full beard as an embodied symbol, we could say, fits in very well like three areas. First, the so-called polycrisis. Second, the dawning of the so-called multipolar era, in which like, the old dominant conventions are reassessed in the so-called West and elsewhere. And third, it fits in quite well with a new seriousness and also a desire for authenticity. So I think the full beard can be understood as a symbol of authentic reality, of course, alleged authentic reality that kind of like bursts into the bubbles of simulation in Western cultures. Because apart from expensive like beard transplants, obviously, the full beard is to signal a natural or primordial like strength, ability, virility, etc. And also on top of that, in all these crises that hung the early 21st century, there is simply no time to shave. There's a nice documentary about Fidel Castro where he argues that if he had shaved all the time, probably he wouldn't have get the revolution done. So I think in times of urgency, you can also signal via a full beard that you have like more important things to do. So I think the full beard fits into this quite well, into these changes. And above all, it correlates with a paradigmatic shift in physical culture, in fitness and bodybuilding, namely the trend towards so-called functional fitness. So that's the trend towards exercises that actually help you build real physical abilities. So the old school bodybuilding was more about aesthetics. It was more about form. And the new huge trend is more about function, what the body can actually do. So there's a turn to reality, if you like, a turn to the authentic capabilities of the body. And so the full beard, I think, fits in really well here. The body has to prove itself again in times of crisis. It has to have real abilities, and you can use the full beard to stress that you have a real body, if you like. No? So it's like the Turnvater Jan beard that emerged in the late 18th and 19th century. And after that, this full beard was viewed with suspicion a lot because, yeah, Turnvater Jan was like this nationalist German fitness instructor, and you didn't want to be somehow put in the same box as Turnvater Jan. So this is over now. People again sport the Turnvater Jan beard, and I think the full beard in this regard can be interpreted as the embodied symbol of the polycrisis in sports, fitness, but obviously also way beyond, in addition to all its context-dependent, ironic, or simply idiosyncratic meanings, of course, which also persist. That's it. That's my input regarding the renaissance of the full beard in sport and fitness body culture. Thank you.